Hi guys, it's Ethnic Green Living here, and I'm just here because I wanted to do a quick chit chat with you guys. Many of you guys know I have been homeschooling going on 9 years now. Wow, that's crazy. Almost 9 years I've been homeschooling. So, although I'm no expert by any means or any stretch of the imagination, I do have a few things that I have learned over the years, and I've talked about them in previous videos because I've been making videos for about 5 years now. But I sat down and I thought about it for a few minutes of not necessarily how to homeschool. I don't want to title it that, but just kind of like 10 tips for new homeschoolers. And I think these tips would really bless you and help you. So here we go. So for the first thing I recommend, there is this Homeschool Legal Defense Association group, and they have a website, and I suggest that you go there and type in the state that you live in to find out what your state requirements are for homeschooling, and then that way you can be sure that you're meeting the requirements. And also there is letters of intent that you're going to submit to the school system, all those things. So all those forms that you need to even get started legally and logistically, all that information is there. So that is what I would recommend doing first. So that's step one. Number two is more about you. I want you to consider the type of mom you are. For example, okay, do you like nature? Okay, if so, then maybe you have more of a Waldorfish style to you. Do you like classical with lots of interaction? Then maybe you like the classical conversations. Do you like books? Could your kids listen to you read all day? So then maybe you're Charlotte Mason and maybe a living book person. You know, maybe that's more of your style. You need it all laid out and picked out for you so you don't have to really pick and choose for yourself. Then you might want to try My Father's World, Sunlight Life Pack, something like that. You want to teach everyone at once. You might want to try the Konos, the Gather Round, unit studies that you like or things that your children would be interested in. Number three, consider your children. Let's make it personal. What do they like? Do they like color? Do they like black and white? Do they like pretty and beautiful pictures? Do they want things straight to the point? Do they like lots of pieces in each lesson? Do they just want pencil and paper? And that's going to make a big difference, because things like the Good and Beautiful, some of the programs have lots of little pieces, and if your child's just like, I don't want the fluff, just give it to me straight, that's not going to work for them. However, if your child likes color and you're giving them something that's more like Saxon or maybe like Math Mammoth that's more black and white, they're not going to be happy. So knowing what they like is really going to help you know how to pick out a curriculum for them and how to even teach them, as far as even if you're writing on a whiteboard, you're going to use black marker, you're going to use colored marker, you're going to color code it. So things like that. Number four is set a budget and stick to it. What can you afford without going without food for a couple days? Like, decide it and don't go over it. It can be as small as saying, I'm only going to spend $100 for the year for curriculum and books and things, and then a couple more dollars for supplies, which is actually what I've done this year. Keep in mind, I have homeschooled for going on 9 years, so I do have a plenty here. Or do you have maybe $1,500 per child? Do you have $500 per child? So really sit down and think about that. When you're setting your budget, is your budget all encompassing? Is it counting and including every single thing? Is it just including a curriculum? Is it including the trips? Is it including the pencils and the papers and memberships and co-ops and all those things? So, you know, make sure that your numbers includes every single thing, or make sure you have a breakdown for how you want it to go. Okay, for example, a family of 4, $1,000 for the year, $250 per child for homeschooling. Okay. Scenario one. Scenario two, $1,000 for the 4 children for the school year, and they have a $200 curriculum budget each, which is $800 with $200 left, $100 for additional supplies for projects, papers, envelopes, pencils, papers, laminating sheets like that, and then the extra $100 for a membership to 1 or 2 places, or just field trips like that. So that's what I'm talking about when setting your budget. So just be really clear and really sure of how you're going to do that so that you know up front. You could say, I'm going to take a lump sum at tax time, at bonus time, at Christmas time, or you could say, I am going to take out $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month until you've reached your limit, or every 2 weeks by, once a week, however it works out for your budget and for your financial situation, your financial needs. But I will say it's very important to consider that first and really be on it. Be intentional, okay? Do you want to homeschool year-round, or do you want to follow a more public school approach? That is the question 5 that I would say to you. Figure out that, and that's really going to give you a great start as well. If you live in a neighborhood where your kids love their friends and they want to be with their friends, you might want to consider, even though there's a lot of controversy about following the school system, but maybe you want to, just so your children can play with their friends. So that's something to think about. If you live in an area where it doesn't even matter, then hey, then it doesn't matter. 6, what days do you want to take off? I think that kind of goes for what's important to you, what matters to you and your family. And not all families are alike and feel the same way about different things. So what holidays are special? What days are special? What's important to you? If your spouse works out of state, if your spouse is going on deployment, then obviously you want to celebrate before your spouse leaves. And so you're not going to follow a traditional approach. You're going to set your own days. But maybe you don't celebrate holidays. So you just have to figure out, what days do you want to take off? And some people say, I'm going to school for 6 weeks or 12 weeks and then take 1 week off. Some people say they'll go to school for 6 weeks, take a week off, 6 weeks, take a week off, 6 weeks off, 6 weeks off, one, like that. Some people say, I'm going to take a month off at this holiday, 2 weeks off at this holiday. I'm going to take off for my kids' birthdays, for anniversaries. So again, this is all unique to each person, but I'm just throwing out things to help you be mindful so that you can prepare accordingly ahead of time. And I think it'll just help alleviate stress later on by asking yourself all of these questions and planning ahead now. Okay, what days do you want to do your schoolwork? Do you want to do a traditional Monday through Friday? Do you want to do a Monday through Thursday? Is your spouse off maybe Sunday and Monday? So maybe you want to do something a little less traditional, but that works for you. And that's the whole point of homeschooling, doing what works well for you and your family. So in that case, guess what, girl or guy? You can do a school setting from a Tuesday to a Saturday, and then that way you can be home with your or you guys can enjoy your spouse on the days that he is off. Number 8, what will help you on the tough days? Okay, tough days come to us all. No one is exempt. Hear me well, hear me clearly. I'm not speaking anything negative over your life. I'm just here as your big sister to inform you and let you know. Tough days will come. Hard days will come. Trials will come. There will be some days where your kids are just going, oh, I don't want to do my work. And he ate my cookie and he looked at me and whatever else crazy you can think of. And you're going to be like, I got these crying kids. Like, it just happens, There's going to be some days you just don't feel like I don't even feel like getting out of bed today. I'm tired. Or maybe your cycle or whatever the case may be. Or someone's sick. So how will you plan for that? Notice a pattern here. I'm a big planner because things happen, and so you really need to back up. Will you let them watch YouTube? Do you have a selection of approved DVDs? Can you go to the library? Will you utilize library books and things you've checked out, other resources? Do you have a membership to a zoo, a science center, a gym, anything like that? Identify your support system. Do you have friends in person? Do you have YouTube friends? Do you have family or Facebook or Instagram friends? I quickly reach out to my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They are just as much my family and friends as some of the people I've known for 10, 12 years. So I know people say, oh, they're like just virtual, but no, there can be some more substance to that. So just knowing that, how you're going to make it through the tough days. Are you going to play games? Are you going to read books? What are you going to do? Number 9 is to pray, to meditate, talk to your spouse. Just be encouraged knowing that you can do this. And you have a host of people that are supporting you, that are backing you, that are cheering you on. You can do this, baby. And my last tip is just to start. Just start. Like, just start. Like, just start. Like, just start. Last time. Like, just start. So, this is what I would suggest. I don't typically like giving suggestions, but this is what I suggest. For your first year, try Kumin, BrainQuest, or similar workbooks that are like maybe Harcourt Press, I think they're called, $5 to $10 per book, and they typically have actually have Spectrum. They typically, sorry, I actually have the Spectrum book right here. So that one is a science. I have a math one. But books like that are really great. Also, Aldi's, Walmart, they all have like subject books, like a big book by the year. I think I have one over there too. I'll show you. And I would even say get that. Like, get that for them. I think that that's enough for the first year. I really do. I feel like those workbooks are enough. And then I feel like if you add lots of hands-on, lots of projects, lots of experiments, unit studies that the kids pick out, things you want to explore deeper, have lots of books, lots of good books. And I'm not saying you have to go buy any. If your libraries are open up and if you feel comfortable utilizing your libraries, I would suggest, you know, just checking out amazing books from the library. They even have STEM kits. I've done so many videos here on YouTube about those library kits, so I won't go on and on to them, but read lots of good books. And the only thing I would suggest buying is pencils, papers, craft supplies, like games. I don't suggest spending a lot of money because you're still trying to figure out the answer to those questions. And maybe you start one way and realize, I've got a kid who needs something else. And then maybe you start off one way right now, but then as time goes on, you change your style, or they change your style, or they change their style, or you just have more kids. And so adding more kids, things change. So I just suggest keeping it really affordable and really simple this first year. And then after your first year, then you can go ahead and decide, you know, if you want to do a curriculum, if you want to try something else. But I suggest really not overdoing it. Don't making it difficult. Don't spend a lot of money. I'm talking about your first year homeschooling. If you can just grab those workbooks I was telling you about, like a $10 workbook per child, with a library card, all the free books and resources like that, paper, pencils like that, I'd say maybe $20, $30 per kid, and then maybe a nice amount for a few games, or DVDs or hands-on projects like that. I think that is really all you need. This is what you need to do. Bake all the things, cook all the things, enjoy, explore, take nature walks, do crafts together, play games together, listen to them, read to them, enjoy them, get to know them. And that is what's going to make a great homeschool. Celebrate everything that you believe in celebrating. You have the time. Make cakes, make pies, make crafts, make gifts. Remember birthdays, write letters to friends. I even have a little pen pal group. It's not as active as I like it to be, but I have it nonetheless, so that the homeschool kids can, sorry about that, can write to each other. Okay, I don't want to make this super long, so I'm gonna go. But I really hope this is helpful, and this is just stuff that I wish somebody had told me all these years ago. And sometimes simple is best. I mean, it really is. And until you actually know, if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, the one thing you'll hear a lot of them say is they regret buying curriculum. They bought all this stuff and they never used it. That's not my experience, just being honest. For me, I've used everything that I bought over the course of these years. However, since so many people say that same thing, it must be truth to it. So that's why I'm saying to you, keep it simple and don't focus on the big box and big name curriculums and things like that. Just start simple, because a lot of people do a lot of deschooling. And so this way, you're naturally kind of in an organic way deschooling as well. So I'll be back with a few more videos and schedules and things like that. But I just want to encourage you guys that you can do it. I am here cheering you on. I'm here rooting for you. I'm here supporting you. Your big sister is super proud of you for taking this step. And I cannot wait to hear how things are going on your journey. Be sure to talk to me in the comment section. I want to know, is this your first year? Are you going to keep it simple like I suggested? Are you going to just go ahead with a curriculum? Are you, do you have things in mind? Have people passed on things to you? Are you looking for some particular curriculum? Maybe someone else here will have that that year and that brand or name, however you, I guess, would want to say it. And then maybe they'd be willing to pass it on or sell it to you. So let me know. Guys, I always say you can do a lot with a little, and that's why I want you to take it easy. I don't want you to, if you overstress yourself and you make it too difficult, you won't want to stick it out for the long run. I've seen some phenomenal, and I mean absolutely phenomenal homeschool moms, but they burnt themselves out and then they gave up and they stopped homeschooling. It's real talk. I know them personally. Phenomenal. Like, couldn't get any better. Couldn't get any better. Cream of the crop, top of the top. Phenomenal. But they overwhelmed themselves and then they stopped. So if you're looking to do this for the home run, I know a lot of people are saying, buy this and buy that. They're sponsored. They're making revenue. They're getting something. I get nothing from this video. I get nothing from any of my videos. It's just me trying to help you and really be honest and open. So I hope that you take that in that way, and that you receive it with the same love that I give it. And I will chat with you guys later. Until next time, be blessed.